and it says like I think it was like 20,000 contracts in 1 week. I think it was for the Leafs or something, but it was like mostly all bullish,
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
right? Is that did I just drop something? Yeah. So that's interesting. Fastly is on there. We kind of missed the boat on Trilio. I didn't see that Trilio was moving bullish all Friday, but I think earnings is on Wednesday or Tuesday. I don't remember before or after on that. CT, weren't you looking at some? Well,
He's muted.
he's muted. Damn it.
Sorry,
Oh,
guys,
sorry.
I'm here. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on new permissions for the mods. So what were we talking about?
Just what earnings you were checking out.
Okay, so one second. Let me change something real quick, sorry, so that E-dubs can get in here.
Okay. My bad, y'all.
All good.
Okay. So the earnings this week, the earnings that I'll be looking at will be I'm actively in Etsy and Fastly. I'm looking to get into Square, probably most likely Square, as well as Datadog. I'm a big fan of Datadog. I've been watching Datadog since last quarters. It's the type of stock that loves to form ascending patterns, ascending triangles, and then like literally break the fuck out of them. So I'm looking for a huge upside. I was looking into potentially getting into which one was it? I also want to get into GoPro. I've seen that there's been a lot of bullish volume coming in lately, and it actually is one of the stocks that has gotten into my the scanner results. But I just saw that the volumes are kind of down, so I'm thinking that it's gonna boom for earnings.
And then drop maybe.
Yeah, exactly. For Datadog, or sorry, for D-Dog, I was looking at two of them, and depends on what your risk is. I was looking into D-Dog. Both expiration is September 18th, but either 130 or 125 strikes were the most reasonable ones. I see that for D-Dog, it's going to be the charts show that it's consolidating right now, but I think that it's going to burst beyond the 98.99 all-time high, and I'm expecting just a 1.10%, I think. So 29 times 1.1.
That'll be like 115 or something.
Less than a 40% move from now until September 18th, which is 47 days from now. So I think that Datadog has high potential, but it is a lot. Some analysts say that it's overvalued, and they have a direct competitor. The ticker is DT, and that's what I was looking at before. But I don't like the way DT trades. It was looks like it was going to go down. That was ticker symbol DT. But I think Datadog around September 18th is going to be the most ideal strike for it, or expiration for it. Also, another thing is, if you guys wanted to take a look at, there's a new command for the stockbot called the trigger is underscore. I'm sorry, not it's exclamation point flow, and then you can add the ticker. And what it does is it uses black box stocks. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that. It's another AI option order flow company, kind of like similar to Algo Flow or Flow Algo and Cheddar, and it gives you the results of the most recent large orders and I asked the support for what the description of ask bid was, because it shows like an underscore B or underscore A, or sometimes it's BBAA, and I wanted to know whether or not that was related to like buying on the ask or buying on the bid, to see if there was, if it identifies buying on the bid or buying on the ask, then it shows shows um the need for the stock to be, or the contract to be bought or sold immediately. Because if someone buys at the bid, they want it immediate, or I'm sorry, if someone sells at the bid, they want to get rid of it immediately. And if someone wants to buy at the ask, then they want to have the contract filled as soon as possible.
What was the other two commands that I found? It was like SI and it wasn't it like short?
Yeah, short. You can use short or SI, and that also shows you the short interest. I saw that you used short, and so I started using short. So that way, it doesn't trigger the other stock bot to find the silver index. Because if you put SI, it shows both stock bots go off, but then it shows I think it's, yeah, the silver price. If you do
There's
short, it also does the same thing, but just uses one stock bot.
there's also I guess we were looking at, what was it? Price point or price target.
Yeah,
It
price
also
target.
EX target. You can see the price targets too with the stock bot, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, but I've been looking at that, and it's like
It's not really nice.
it works, but it doesn't work. I use it with a grain of salt. I've looked at, like, for instance, like if you were to look at eBay and played it, it didn't even go as planned.
Not even close.
Same with Intel, so that's why I didn't want to go into that. But it
Utilize
is
it.
something that I've been looking at also. For Etsy, if you're up at 100%, just take profit and readjust if you want to. I'm wanting to play Etsy over through its earnings, because e-commerce companies have literally done so well during this pandemic.
That's really low risk, I guess.
I see it however you want. It could be a high risk, but I mean, I just think that there's potential for it to go. Looking at the flow through Etsy, it looks like the majority is all calls anyways in the last week or so, which is kind of more confidence in confidence in the direction, in the fact that we are playing in the right direction as well.
Hey CT, is there an easy place to look at? You said over the past week that it's a majority calls versus puts. Where can you find information?
So using the stock bot I look up exclamation point flow Etsy, and it just, based on that, it shows that there's a lot more calls. But how I really judge it is using ThinkorSwim. And using ThinkorSwim, it'll tell you the ratio. And what you could also do is using OI under StockBot to see what the majority open interest and volume is. That's also another way to show. So the flow, in my opinion, is how I identify institutional buying, and where the direction that the institutions are looking to play towards. And then the OI function shows overall market and where they plan to, where the majority of traders expect the direction of the stock to go. And then what I like to look for is the volume is for the day. So this is as of Friday. So it looks like on Friday, the majority of Etsy volume was for the expiration of 8/7. So this coming week. And I mean, or you can look at the open interest first, which is showing that 9/18 has the most traders looking to profit, and then from then you can break down the transactions to see which strike you want to go into, and I look for more liquidity.
Okay,
that's how I think it. And I had notification that there was a lot of buyers for the 8/20. No, not for Etsy. Sorry, for Fastly. For Fastly, there was a lot of buyers for the August 21st expiration 120 strike. So that's why I went on the 125, I believe. I think I went one over just because I saw that, just because I think that Fastly 120 strike has the premium is inflated. I went for the next one because what's it trading at now? Fastly. Fastly's currently trading at 96 0.49%. I'm sorry, the $96.49. And all-time high is 102. So at 96.49 or 96.50, 1.10. 10% move will be 106. Let's see what a 20% is. 15. So 20%. I also take a look at the average movement within the last 6 months to see what the average monthly movement is. So I think that if Fastly can break 100, I think it's just going to continue its trending, push through earnings. We're also bringing in, I don't know if Poke has also mentioned this, we brought in Edubs. He's going to have his own channel, so you guys will see that probably sometime today. I'm working on that right now, and he'll be specializing in spreads. So if you guys have any questions, we are to refer you to him. Do you guys know how to, for earnings, do you guys know how to find the expected implied move for earnings for each stock? So in order to do that, you just have the one way I do that is on ThinkorSwim under the news section. It actually shows you options trial prices expected to report quarterly results next week, and it gives you a expected move. And so it looks like Fastly is expected to move 20% either up or down from the price of $93. But we know right now it's at 96.49. So at 96.50, a 20% move is 115.
Hey CC, can you share your screen and show me where that is? I'm on ThinkorSwim right now, but I don't see where that is.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Sweet. Edub, do you have anything to say?
I think he's just listening on today. All right, let's see.
I mean, like, oh.
All right, so for the I just go to live news. So on the desktop, it's on live news. Just go here. It pretty much just tells you the implied move.
Can you go back on how you got that? I totally was not looking.
You're fine. So you see your charts right here.
Mhm.
You go to live news right here.
Gotcha.
You don't already have it on there, and it's under the news, and TD Ameritrade tells you this stuff, and like I would recommend having these up as well too. I rely on the news section because it gives you alerts on, like, for instance, on the 20th there was a lot of 115 calls that were bought at ask, meaning someone really wanted to get into this position, and they got that notification, and the TD got that notification. But what I was referring to is options style price. Most highly anticipated stocks will have this notification. Some may not have it. Then you have to do other additional research. But based on this news here, the market is, and from what my experience is, they've been fairly accurate or close to accurate in regards to the implied move. And so it's saying that from August weekly 93 straddle price for a move of 20% into the expecting release of quarterly results after the bell on August 5th. So we already know that the price is at 96.50. So we are to expect, I would say, less than 20% implied move at this rate. But at 20% implied move from 93 would be 93 times 1.2 equals $111. And how they find this is that all they do is look at the order flow, or I'm sorry, the order history. So let me show you. So number 4, they just take a look at the open interest and the volume to see where the majority of traders are placing their bets. So based on Friday's transactions on this coming week's expiration, it looks like the majority of traders are expecting a move to at least 100 for Fastly. Let me see if I can, 100. Or even down here, you can show it here. 2 times the volume is for calls. So what I would recommend doing is looking at the IV on the side here. So next week's implied volatility is 183%, which is high. I don't know how to find it on here, but on the ThinkorSwim mobile app, it actually tells you the implied volatility on the top left-hand corner once you hit options. And I think that is like what is the average implied volatility. So I use that. It shows that the average implied volatility so far is 118.59%. So I know that next week's premium prices are highly inflated based on the fact that it's a lot higher than the average implied volatility of 118. So what I would look to do is to look for a expiration that has a lower call spread 115 strike. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. So what I do is I look for something that's around there or less than the average applied volatility. So we're looking at August 28th at the earliest strike that I would want to pick because it's at 120. The strike that I picked was August 25th, or 21st. So I got a little bit higher, but I'm looking for a huge expected move, and I'm playing to the fact that there was a large order for 120 strike of that same expiration.
Okay. So what are you comparing the IV to? You said earlier the 115. So you're looking for something underneath that?
So the average implied volatility is 118.59. So I'm looking at around 118, 120-ish, give or take, or less to get into a position, because the higher the IV, usually the higher demand for that particular expiration, and sometimes it means that the premium prices are inflated, or you have a higher risk of getting clapped by implied volatility.
Yeah. And you got that 118 on that main page, right? Right down the bottom.
Not on this page here, because I can't find where it's at, but you can find it on the ThinkorSwim mobile app.
Yeah, it's right there. If you see in black where it's opened, 118.59 to the left.
Left side. Oh, right here. Okay, perfect. Yes, that's it. So this information right here is exactly what I see on ThinkorSwim mobile app, and that's what I reference. Or 118.60 on the app. It shows 118.60 now also, which is cool. And then VWAP, it shows at the middle VWAP. The average volume weighted price is $94.129. Yeah. So yeah, I look for something that's close to there.
Wait, so are we looking for less IV?
So if you're playing a non-earnings play, look for something that is relative to this price here, whatever this percentage here. I think this is the average implied volatility for the particular stock. It'll change as you go, of course. So for Square, the average implied volatility is 71.87. So I would look for something around expiration. If you want to play IV to your advantage, meaning that if you think that the stock will actually move in the direction that you expect it to in a drastic manner, then you can play IV to your favor. But I would never play something with a expiration that's the same week if the earnings is expected to release Wednesday after market closes or later. I think Square releases their earnings on the 6th. So that will be Thursday. So like if there's any earnings that are expected to come out the 5th, 6th, or 7th, I wouldn't buy a expiration for that week unless you want to do like a lotto, and if you do a lotto, buy a strike that's close to the money right now. So I would never.
Can you guys look at Chegg for tomorrow? Their earnings is after hours tomorrow. I got a strike at, let's see, 105 for October 16th. So it's under the IV that you're talking about. I was looking at, I should hold it through earnings or just take I think it's like 40% profit now.
105. Okay, so let's look at that. So for Chegg, let's look at this week's let's look at it as a reference of the earliest expiration. So a lot of the traders are expecting it to be
Going down,
going
right?
up. It's going to go up. A lot of people think it's going to go up. Let's look down also. So looking at the total transactions that were traded on Friday, a majority of the transactions, the contracts stated that there was going to be a six times to the call side. So a lot of traders are expecting it to go up sometime this week. But then also, in addition, a lot of the traders are expecting it to be hit a strike with a delta between 21 to 40. So let's look at that for 21 to 40. So delta will be here. So you have a 21 to 40. That's all these contracts. So that really didn't help that. Help us slim that down. So we know that it's going to go on the call side. Now looking on the expiration, looking at your October 16th expiration, you said 105. Yeah, I think it's going to go to 105. A lot of people are already expecting it to be above 90, and that gives you three times more theta, more time, I guess.
Okay.
Let's look at the option contracts or the flow to see where majority shooting for. See, there's the two largest orders. The largest orders of calls was for the expiration of August 21st at 105 strike. The largest order for a put was August 20th at $70 put. And kind of a reassuring is that on the closer to the end of the day, the more accurate the information is, in my opinion. So based on the last 15 minutes until close, you can pretty much almost 90% say that the majority of the market expects the stock to go up next week.
Cool.
At around 105 is what I see so far. A lot of 105s. I mean, a lot of 75s also, but a lot of 90 and above. We're looking at a 10% move at least next week. Or $10 move at least by next week.
Okay, cool.
That's a good one. Why did you choose October rather than September?
I think this was from one of the flows, and I was looking at the chart, and it looked good. And I'm still figuring out like what expiration date to pick.
Yeah,
I stuck with the expiration date from the flow.
I mean, another thing you could also do is, this is kind of like counting with your toes type of thing. Is I use so on the 1 day chart, I just kind of like, if I can show it using this. So there's a gap right here for sure. So I just use so is that 5 days? So let's do it for a month. In a month, what is the expected move? I'd say let's go a little bit more conservative. Let's say it's around here. So you're looking at a average move of about 19.5%. Or you could be a little bit more conservative and say it's from here to there, which is halfway, and you're still looking at a 15% return. And let's go from the next point on. So from 6 15 to the next month, which is 611 to 711. See what the implied move is. And you're looking at go halfway. You're still looking at about a 10. So we're expecting a 10% move on Chegg at least. It's moved so far is at 52% since May 1st. It's just fucking rallying it.
All right.
It's kind of a nice reassurance. So if you were to look at today's price, so 80, let's do 81 times 1.1 equals $90. So a lot of people are expecting it to hit $90 sometime this week to the middle of the following week. So in 2 weeks, you're looking at about a $10, a 10% move,
Okay, cool.
which in dollar form is like almost $10. That's kind of like how I base my expirations as well lately also too. So if every 2 weeks it move or every month it moves about $10, I would to assume that by August 15th it'll move to $90 at least, and then from September, so let's see, so it'll be $40 by October. 89 plus 40, 129. Expected at 129 by your October expiration, assuming that it continues the route, and give or take some pullback.
That's really neat.
What was that?
That's really neat.
That's
And
one
pretty
way I
accurate.
see it, because the trend will continue until there's negative news, and you can't control negative news. So stuff like Boeing, for instance, Boeing was rallying until it got all those airplane stuff, and then it just drops. It just continued to tank. Typically, it'll continue its trend.
Why is my camera on?
We were looking at Datadog, right? I like Datadog. I'm a big fan of Datadog. I caught Datadog right here at this break right here, and right here. I rode that up. I exited out right there, so that was a good one. I think we're gonna go for another one. This would have been a perfect time to enter right here and play it. I really think that there's going to be some momentum going up.
I wish I entered into Twilio before Friday rally on it.
I like Twilio too. There's been very good.
They've just been doing very well. Do they just do gaming? Like what are they just like?
Let's take a look. Let's see what Twilio does. TWO. Okay, so they are a cloud communication company which enables developers to build, scale, and operate real-time communications with software. Oh, so this does API and stuff like that. Okay, so one thing I found about Fastly and Datadog is that they're just monitoring companies, I believe. So they monitor security threats. Okay, so actually Fastly is more of like a security infrastructure, stuff like that. So DDog deals with what's it called? Like high priority functions, systems, and stuff like that. So they need to they allow large enterprises to monitor mission critical. They're called mission critical softwares, so that in the event that something happens, they know it immediately and can resolve it. So like when a whole network goes down, Datadog can identify immediately.
They're the ones that fix it.
Yeah, they're the ones to identify and monitor it. I don't think they fix it. They just give essential information to programmers or the technicians or whatever to fix the issue. Twilio, let's take a look at that. So, you said Friday's rally. Oh yeah, Friday's rally actually it rallied all the cloud companies from what I saw. Fastly was one, Datadog, DocuSign was even up. Momentum's good. I think it's breaking all-time high already. I expect it to continue its route. I wouldn't expect it to go any other way. And it looks like higher. Momentum's picking up on the daily.
Somebody talked about T-Mobile and something else.
Yeah, everything's good, dude. I don't really like T-Mobile.
Yeah, T-Mobile, Uber, Activision's this week too.
I like Uber, and I think Activision has potential, but I don't think they're gonna break out too hard. Did Grub beat? Wasn't Grub like the other week, or is it this week?
It was last week, and it beat.
So Uber should.
But actually, Grub is like consolidating. It was neutral when I played it. I lost money on that one because it was neutral. But it stayed within its range. I would. Here's the comparison. So Uber's also consolidating. I know that for sure.
Uber hasn't had a good luck after that lawsuit, though.
It's actually going down. I probably won't play Uber this week. To be honest with you, I'm really focused on the data companies.
Yeah, if anywhere you should go, we would go there.
Even
First.
like Etsy.
Wasn't Pins last week?
Pins was last week. Pins did well. Pins beat earnings, and look at that spike, dude. That was a massive one. I think that was like
wasn't there an Etsy Golden? What is that?
I don't think Etsy was golden.
I want to find that Etsy Golden. Hold up.
But I am in Etsy though. I'm in Etsy 155 for September 18th. So the reason why I picked September 18th was IV. Applied volatility was low. September 18th, applied volatility was 67.79. The average was 75, so that was low. You could have gone earlier too. I mean, you could go for this August 28th would probably be the earliest, dude. It's just a little bit of more IV, but how I picked Etsy was that I took this chart and I pretty much measure the quadrants. And oh, shit. Here, I'm trying to pull this. Okay, so how I did it was that it looks like every month it goes within a range of about $70 to about 89, so 90, so $20. It moves about $20. So 90, 115, so about $20. So I'm to assume that if it continues consolidating for the rest of the month, it's gonna from the low of 100, it'll hit 120 by the end of the month of August. And then from another $20, well, it's actually at almost $20 already. So it's actually moving exponentially higher, faster. So I would assume. Let me see if I can draw this line actually.
Dude, this Etsy Golden call is 100% right now, almost.
Is it?
Can you imagine making $3 million in a week? Like, what?
I can't, not yet.
That's just too crazy. Did anybody
Might
like
read this.
that's just fucking crazy.
Okay.
If we could have hopped in on that, but less time. Let's see how much that would have been.
Okay, so let's see. So it bounced off the bottom trend line. This would have been a perfect entry. You can also see it under the stochastic fold that it looked like it rebounded. It's good. I would assume it's going to hit about here. I'm a little conservative. It's going to hit about here. 140. 140 will be the ideal strike for a short term of expiration, for an expiration of 821. I'll see 918, 105. Yeah, that one would have been perfect. When was that entered in? That was entered on 927. So let's look at where the price
Yeah.
was when it happened. So 927. Here,
was
exactly that
about-
1 point. Almost near that 1 point. That trend line that we were talking about. So on 927, right here on this date, what price did it hit it go into? For that 105.
One.
Price at 105. So let's go to 180. So
It's so horrifying that that happened so quick. Let that slip.
So at 105. Here, I got a signal that I was going to go up. Okay, perfect. That's cool. And the week went 5 at the moment. So that was good. That was a good one.
I know we missed it.
Okay. Now we can play before. So I mean that's a huge one in my opinion, and and with that based on the expiration, I'm to expect that Etsy is going to beat.
Yeah.
Just based on what the expiration is, how much money they've put in, they've pretty much doubled their money already. They've doubled their money already. From 3 million to 6 million.
In less than 4 days.
Less than 4 days.
It's fucking weird.
19, what was that, a 105 strike? They were already in the money. That's why they bought it at the money. So 105, those 105s are at trading at 1865 now. 1865 minus 1093 equals 772, and they bought 3,000 of those. So they're up, not double, but 2.3 million divided by 3.3.
If you guys got that one, would you guys have sold off Tuesday when it was dropping? Or would you guys have held it? Because he got it
recently.
for Etsy.
Was it like this, like Tuesday of the last week?
Yeah, on the 28th. Because the golden flow was on the 27th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the 28th it was dropping.
It was just consolidating and didn't really drop, I think. Did it? No, it did.
It dropped. It did drop, but it dropped to like, okay, so if you were to look at it, it did drop though that day, but it didn't drop that far. It didn't drop below the previous day's close. So another thing that traders do look at is whether or not the stock price closed above yesterday's high, or if it closed below it. And that's one thing to look at too, because if the stock is falling, is it going to fall below the previous days or the previous week's low? And it didn't do that. Let's see why. Another thing also is if you were to use the Ichimoku's cloud or the moving averages, it didn't fall below the 21-day moving average. It actually stayed above. It bounced off of it. The 27th.
Like it hit it hard and rejected super bad.
For the most part, for the 4 hour. And most swing traders use higher time frames, such as like 1 hour, 4 hours, days. I use weeks and months sometimes. I'm looking at a huge like time frame. But for the most part, it respected the 21-day moving average fairly well. Yeah, I might actually add to eBay. I was looking to add to eBay, add to Fastly, or buy into another position to for Datadog.
I'm probably gonna enter Datadog and see what Etsy does. Most likely, just continue looking at stuff. Yeah.
So another reason why it gapped up so high was because it literally broke the last 2 months high. if you were to look at the peak, it hit that rebound, consolidate a little bit, and hit it again and failed, and that's the reason why it retraced. And now it's been consolidating, and then now something's triggered it to go up. So if I can do
Well,
a
it's
one-
earnings. It was like that last 2 weeks was just consolidation until earnings.
yeah,
Or was it even 2 weeks?
it
I
was
don't know.
consolidating. It failed. It fell to the trend line here, so it is respecting the overall trend line that it's in, and then it bounced above that, and there was enough momentum to push it up 5% on Saturday. Same with Apple. I think Apple is a good play too, long term, because it's back into the same channel that it's created.
It's squeezing though. Looks like that's a huge. Well, that was earnings.
Yeah,
So that was a gap up. So now it's in a new channel.
it is. It's actually above. It could actually pull back, to be honest with you. Most likely, it'll pull back to retest this channel because I'll show you an example of when that had happened. So, for instance, AMD did that. They did do that. Maybe it was Datadog. Oh, AMD did that. Okay, so AMD did that back in the day when I was trading it.
Reading your graphs feel like I'm looking at mushrooms.
Sorry, it's a lot of here. How about that? Is that better?
It's all good.
this is what it looks like to have histories of trading. Okay, so I played. This one was cool because I played AMD back in last year and it was respecting the freaking trend line or the channel that I was in, and then it bumped up and then it freaking dropped. Then it created like this is a cup and handle. It was supposed to break for earnings and it did not break for fucking earnings, and it consolidated the whole fucking time for a whole quarter, and then it finally decided to break out. So that's my mistake, and I shouldn't have ignored that there was another potential. If it doesn't happen this quarter, like it's consolidating for a reason, so there's not enough selling pressure the next quarter. It just needed another catalyst, and it popped out. That should have been an easy one for me, but I failed to look at that. I've been watching AMD for a long time, a couple of years now.
It's cool. The day I was asleep, that's when it popped off.
Yeah.
Tell me how that works, right?
Yeah, we were all like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
That was the only day I overslept because my dog kept me up super late.
you're like, somebody's supposed to be making money off this, but nobody is.
Because nobody was paying attention. I usually pay attention to it.
So what are you guys gonna play this week? I like Datadog. I want to go in Datadog. Reason why I want to go in Datadog, I've played it here. I've played it here. It's struggling to break this. I want it to break it. It looks like momentum's going up. Everything's shifting. It shows that it's in a bullish momentum. Going back to the other indicators.
Apple's still gonna run until dividends, though.
Yeah, I actually think that not the dividends, but the split. I think the split is gonna actually drive more traders into buying it. I think the demand will actually push the stock to go even further.
I mean, why would?
In my opinion, that's how I see it. I actually told my brother to get into it. He got into it pre or after earnings, but I think the stock split may make it so marketable that the demand is going to go up for it. How do you guys feel about Square? I think a lot of analysts are saying that the price is overvalued and it doesn't respect the price it's at now isn't comparative to what the true valuation is. I think it's trading at like 28 times the earnings or something like that. Looking at using the stock bot, a majority of analysts say that Square is supposed to be averaging around 103.69 and it's trading at 129. The high was 150, so there's definitely some optimism in the price. If we were to even look at it,
Dude, Tesla stocks are gonna jump to the fucking sky. Come on.
is it because of the SpaceX?
Yeah, there's no doubt about this. I'm seeing it all over the place on Tesla holders. Like, it's just that they're all being crazy. I wonder if it's gonna hit 1600. That'd be cool.
Yeah, are you gonna play that?
I'm already in it long term
Are
for
you?
next earnings. I think I got this like a while ago. I don't even know what day.
A week ago.
Like a week ago, right? Yeah.
Do you guys like playing earnings? It's fun, but kind of like risky as fuck.
Yeah, it's risky as fuck.
One thing about earnings though, it's really good for spreads because high IV means the contracts are overpriced. So if you sell them, you have a better chance of making money.
You got it.
That's
That's
one of
right.
the reasons I like spreads and earnings.
Yep. I mean, if you guys wanted to play, I mean, if you want to try a strategy to play the spreads, you can look at short leg of 107 will be a good one, and then high I would do no more than. Let me see what the standard deviation shows 134. So I mean, I would go outside of that so that you can. What would you say would be a good upper strike?
For square?
Yeah,
Probably about 130, 140.
I feel like 130 is too short, and you're not gonna. I would you want the contract to expire worthless, right?
Yeah.
So
So yeah. So I think the all-time high is like 133, or that's the line I have drawn right now. I think I did.
136 is the all-time high.
Okay. Yeah. So like around that, I'll go above that point. So I'm looking at
like
137 right now on E-Trade, and that's like a projected 78% max profit at 137.
Only thing is that you don't think it's gonna potentially hit. So let me look at this. What date is the square earnings? Earnings date.
How much was that entry for that spread on Fastly?
Let me see. Actually, I have to figure out what let me take a look again. I didn't save that one. What did I put?
So May 6th, and you don't think that it could potentially hit 10%?
That's
I heard. I mean, the square earnings is expected to be bad, so like I'm not too bullish on that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Let me take a look at that Fastly spread that I posted.
I mean, they did pump and then just dump every earning so far.
Yeah.
The only thing that I see is that there is momentum on the upside, and that is looking to squeeze on the hourly. The last time it was squeezing, it did pop, but it was at it squeezed at a different time. So using this, yeah.
It's been a good uptrend lately since March. Yikes.
Yeah, sorry, doing one more thing.
Dude, I wish we just bought a shit ton of Square stocks at 40.
At 40? How long ago was that?
March?
Oh, that's not even that long.
Yeah, exactly.
35 credit for that spread. The Fastly spread.
What you do?
Oh, so it's not that much. Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Well, I mean, you always take a credit, so you don't pay anything. You just look at your max profit and your max loss, because it's a credit spread, so you take in money.
What's your max loss on those?
Let me take a look. If I do one contract, max loss is. I have it on 10 contracts right now. Let me look at.
Oh, do you already have it?
No. I'm just playing with numbers on the platform. So max loss is 365 with a 9.4% chance of max loss, and then your max profit is 135 with an 80% chance of max profit. So your risk, so your risk to reward is 1 risk to 0.37 reward. So that's what 63% risk, but at an 80.7% chance of profit. So that's a very good ratio. So that's basically kind of what I'm looking at whenever I look at these spreads. Like, I mean, you're not going to win them all, but you play enough of them, you're going to be up.
I agree. That's a good one.
Shit.
Yeah, and the thing about these spreads is you don't want to go heavy, because I mean your heavy one can go bad, right? You want to play the same same amount of risk every time, and then you just want to play in like a lot of plays. That way the number works in your favor.
Dude. And you can get like multiple spreads too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm planning to look at all the charts today and see if I can find all the plays, and I want to post them up tonight or something.
Okay, I like that. And your channel will be live soon. I gotta edit some stuff.
Yeah. I'm still charting, so I gotta a lot of things. A lot
So
of stuff.
coin flip study, huh? I like it. I need to watch that. That sounds wild. Cool. Do you guys have any more questions for tonight before tomorrow? Anybody?
No, I think we're good. Oh, no, I think we're good.
All right. We'll see everybody in the mornings then.
Thank
Later,
you
guys.
guys.
See you in the morning.
Okay, let's see you.
See you.